Okay, so hello everybody. I am Mindy Harrington. I am the Youth Services Supervisor for Yarmouth Town Libraries, and I am here to talk to you about Equity in Action, Summer at the Library. And this is based on building equity-based summers through the BEEBS program. Um, this session is going to highlight how Yarmouth Town Library's summer reading programs, guided by the Building Equity-Based Summers initiative, have transformed our teen engagement. Over the past 3 years, our participation has grown from 7 to 69 teens, a nearly tenfold increase. And this success stems from intentional school outreach, strong community connections that make library programs visible, relevant, and accessible, with partnerships with educators, youth organizations, and local businesses, with the position of the library as a hub for belonging, creativity, and celebration. The approach emphasizes equity by meeting teens where they are and reflecting their diverse interests. And I'm going to give a little warning first. Well, this is about teens. Teens haven't always been teens, nor will they always be teens. So we're going to discuss the younger kids, growth into teens, and what they do once they're a little bit older and not quite teens anymore. So I'm going to welcome you here to our building, the Yarmouth Town Libraries. So I feel like I missed this. Let me double check and make sure I didn't miss it. Nope, I didn't. Sorry, this is my first Zoom presentation, so be patient with me. So first I want to introduce you to the Yarmouth Town Libraries. So if you're not from Cape Cod, you might not know that Cape Cod libraries are very special to the community. They reflect a unique history and the character of the towns they serve. Now in Yarmouth, we have 3 libraries. Yarmouth Town Libraries supports 2 of them. The town of Yarmouth supports a population of 2,000 residents. Now this doubles in the summer when we get our tourists. The median age for the Yarmouth community is 55.5 years old, with approximately 11.1% of the residents under 15 and 8% between 15 and 24. Based on that distribution, an estimated 750 to 1,000 youth fall within the range of 12 to 18. It's not a very big population as you're looking at it with the other ages included. So this year, Yarmouth Town Library's summer reading goal was to increase our teen participation from, or this year summer, to 69 to 76, so that we can say we are serving an estimated 10% of the teen population. So to tell you a little bit more about the libraries, right here we have our South Yarmouth Library. It's an old captain's village. It was built in the 1800s. It is grandfathered in under olden construction codes. So the weight capacity of the floors in our building is 100 pounds per square foot. And that's below the modern requirement of 150 pounds square foot. So that comes into play here when we're looking at our teen room. We have a very small teen room. It has seating for 2 people. And right now, our capacity of the room is technically over, just with the books alone. Once you add the teens in there, because it's grandfathered in, they can safely enter. But, you know, it's really over the weight limit. And the capacity of the room is really only 2 kids. Now, the West Yarmouth Library features an open floor plan, as you can see here, but lacks any dedicated meeting room for programming or gatherings. The teen room is located within the children's area, with only 1 desk designated for the teen use. And even that teen space, it is half teens, the collection, and the other half juvenile fiction. Now, the irony of this is the West Yarmouth Library was built in 1965 by the Castengate family in memory of their only child, Anne, who died suddenly in 1947 at the age of 17. So here we have this beautiful building built in memory of a 17-year-old, but without any teen space and not a welcoming environment for teens to visit, which, yeah, it makes it hard to have teen programming there or even to serve the community of West Yarmouth. Okay. Now, to get into how Beebs helped us. So for those of you that don't know about Beebs, it's called Building Equity-Based Summers. Beebs was a Massachusetts library system initiative focused on creating equitable, community-centered summer programs. The focus of this program was to center community voice in program design, strengthen access and belonging, and expand partnerships that sustain equitable growth. In 2023, the Massachusetts libraries were encouraged to apply for the Beebs opportunity. Only 5 libraries were selected, and we received our acceptance in August 2023. Now, to explain why we needed Beebs, this seemed to me to be an excellent opportunity to really improve what we were doing and see how we could do it better. Before Beebs, the Yarmouth Summer Reading Program served many people, but not the whole community, and definitely not equitably. That was brought to my attention back in 2022. We were still running our summer reading program as it ran, and it was for ages birth through 18th. We had a patron who would come down and visit us all the time. They were a wonderful friend, neurodiverse. They were in their 20s. They expressed one day how much they wanted to participate in summer reading. Unfortunately, they felt they couldn't. The summer reading program for youth services was 0 to 18. They didn't follow in that age range. They could have joined the adult program, but they didn't feel qualified to join that program. As part of that program, they had to read whole books, adult books. So there was no place where this patron fit in. And when she expressed that, it made me feel really sad and said, okay, what are we doing wrong? Okay. And then our summer reading program was run that way because that's the way it was always run. It relied heavily on traditional formats. And it wasn't just summer reading, it was all year long. There was a lot of things that were grandfathered in that I inherited when I took over the department 3 years ago. One example isn't necessarily summer reading, but we did a Whoville Express. It was our winter programming that celebrated Christmas. On one of our Whoville Expresses, we take a train from one library to another, or trolley actually, and we sang Christmas songs. There was a child not singing, and I asked why, and they said, I don't celebrate Christmas. I'm just here because some friends invite us. So here was this child trying to enjoy this event, but the event wasn't necessarily representing them. It fell into a tradition that we had to celebrate because it was always celebrated. And once again, that made me feel sad. I'm a children's librarian. I don't want sad. I want happy. It needed stronger partnerships with local schools and organizations. Many of us that were in these positions prior to COVID, we may have lost a lot of that outreach and school participation and participation with organizations that we had built, that we had started to build up, and then they got put aside. It became very hard. And we faced challenges in reaching neurodivergent youth and non-traditional learners. It was set up, once again, in a grandfathered way that only looked at the community as one group, not as different aspects of the community. So now I'm going to show you what our summer reading program looked like when I first started. I started here at Yarmouth Town Libraries in the summer of 2019, right before summer reading. So I joined and I got thrown right into it. So, and when I did, this program looked great to me. We were doing a great service for kids. I was new. I came from an educational background and a theater background. So this all looked amazing. So when we first started doing it, and I want you to keep in mind right now, as you're looking at this, who was this program for? So we had our early reading log that included friends that were from birth to 6 years old. We had our elementary reading log that encouraged for friends 6 to 12. And then we had teen scratch tickets and a summer reading challenge, which looking at it, you look at these graphics, they're very juvenile. There's nothing to promote anybody that's not elementary age to really participate. So it did not meet the equity requirements of our community. And if you look, there's no adult summer reading program. And let's be real here, looking at this one that's 0 to 5 years old, those kids aren't reading by themselves. The babies aren't reading, the adults are doing that. So keep that in mind as we're looking at this. So as the kids read, they got to cross off a star for, or one of the symbols for every 15 minutes they read. And once they reached an hour, they earned an inexpensive toy or a badge. Now, if you have kids, you've seen a lot of these toys, they don't really want them. They play with them for a minute and they end up in a landfill. This isn't good for our environment. It's not providing children with really the things that encourage them, that make them want to read. It's kind of a prize for, hey, we have to do this, let's do it. And so those prizes end up discarded. The teens participated through a scratch off. Every time they checked out a book, they received a scratch ticket. The scratch ticket, you'd scratch it off and you'd either not win or you'd win a piece of candy. Now, teens, yes, they come in, they might check out books, but in the summer, they have their summer reading. I don't have 1,000 copies of the same book. So while they're focused on that, by checking out one book, it didn't make it equitable because if somebody already else had that summer reading book checked out, there was no way for 20 other kids to check out that book. And so while everybody had technically a chance to win, there really wasn't, it didn't really get you much. And I mean, the reward for this is to actually doing it, but they work hard to do it. So it didn't really meet the structure for equitable and inclusive engagement. And then when it came to the prizes, we did weekly drawings that everybody that filled a whole sheet in, they got to put in a ticket. You could do these reading logs as many times as you wanted. Now, that was great, but at that point in time, we had probably about 70 of the younger kids participating and 5 teens. Those 5 teens had their own grouping of separate prizes. So the same 5 teens won all the prizes over and over and over again. That was great. Well, we had the younger kids with 70, they didn't win over and over again. They maybe won once. Or in one case, I had a family of 3, 2 of the kids won once, 1 kid won nothing. Once again, not equitable. It doesn't leave everybody feeling good. Now, I have a sibling, and when we were little, we participated in summer reading. I loved it. I wanted to do the best I could. I worked hard at it. And every single time my sister won. That didn't leave me feeling good. And that's a memory I carry all the way into adulthood. So when Beebs came along, it really gave me a chance to look at the program and try to figure a way that everybody felt good participating in summer reading, including the teens. So with so with the Beebs, we were able to change through the Beebs initiative to make sure it was more equitable. Now, earlier I showed you how we had the little kids. What I want you to keep in mind through all of this, once again, is little kids don't stay little, they become teens, and that's why I'm talking about them. So some of the changes we made are in 2025. So I'm going to show you, or we started them in, got selected in 2023. We rolled it out in our 2024 summer reading program. And then this year in 2025, we really were able to fine tune it and grow. We strengthened our outreach to include school visits to every classroom in our district, as well as a presence at the local ball games. This allowed the programs to connect with the community members, tourists, and students as they progress from elementary school to middle school through high school, ensuring continued engagement over time. We just presented at NELA, and I got my feedback this morning that they would like to have more concrete information on how you can do this. So to explain how we did the school community outreach, we're lucky. There's two of us here at Yarmouth Town Libraries, myself and the youth services assistant, Rebecca Good, which I'm going to give a huge shout out because everything you see here would not be possible without having her on my team, and just the best partner in crime anybody could ever ask for. So we visit every school. It's hard between two of us, but this is where staff engagement takes place. We are lucky that other staff members will step in and provide us coverage so that we can do the school outreach. This involves about 3 weeks of full days engaging with the schools. We meet with each of the classrooms individually. We have our handouts to give to each of the kids in person. The schools support us by sending it out via the school communication links. So even if it gets lost in the kid's backpack, the parents still have access. It provides a QR code so that participation can be done online or through paper. It explains all the information they need to know. And so it really covers all the grounds of community and engagement. And seeing we've been doing this outreach, I've been meeting with the schools since after COVID. We started getting back in 2022. So within 3 years, those kids that I was meeting in 5th grade are now in 8th grade. They're high schoolers and so forth. So those connections I made with them in elementary school have carried through their years as they have grown up. And once again, will we have that opportunity to go out? If you don't, reach out to your schools, get the handouts in every backpack. Hopefully your building and your team can support the number of printouts. We print over 4,000 of these handouts every summer. It's a lot. So to do this, we reframed our language, our marketing to include inclusive programming materials and communication. Once again, we made sure that it could be done through our handouts. We made it so our fonts and text were larger. We print this up, all the information up on 11 by 17 paper so that it's more visible, it's larger. Older people that have vision problems can see it. Younger emerging readers can still see it. Anybody with reading difficulties, it includes everybody. We are sure to include inclusive language. And then as I pointed out before, it's inclusive to all. We didn't have an adult summer reading program before. Luckily, we have an adult summer reading program now with some great coworkers who've decided to join these efforts. And it's birth through 99. So this is inclusive to everybody in the community. And when we say, and one of the reasons we did that, as I said before, looking at those earlier programs from 2019, we had babies reading. Babies don't read by themselves. The adults are doing the work. The adults are participating in summer reading. So why exclude them when they're the ones reading to the babies? So in our program, the adults can participate with their children. Adults can participate with their teens. It can be a family initiative that everybody does together. Now, to get here, once again, like I said, there were mistakes made. We did it in 2024. We are able to refine it. The important part of this was to listen to feedback without defensiveness and assess whether or not the needs were requests or needs that were valid and actionable. Some of them we had to just say no to. Can we do it 3 or 4 times? Well, we tried that. We said yes in 2024. And it turned out that once again, the same people were winning the prizes. The same people were getting the prizes because they were able to do it 2 or 3 times and get more entries. So while we said yes that time, we reviewed it and took it back a notch and really tried to listen. And by doing this, it fosters a culture of responsiveness and adaptation. The community saw that we were working with them. They saw that while everything wasn't perfect before, we were striving to do that and that their words mattered. So here you'll see our summer reading quest, because we did the level up at your library. You started, and every time you read for 1 hour, you earned a badge. Now, this badge worked as a ticket. And once again, this ticket was good from birth to 99 or 109. And when the kids ask, it's because that is the highest age we can do on our reading platform. And what I'm showing you here was a copy of our printed version. It is mirrored exactly online so that those who want paper versions can do paper, and those who want the electronic can do that. We have learned that many of our patrons want the kids doing paper. So here, that's why we do it that way. So they earned a badge. This badge got you 1 ticket. The ticket earned you a day at our prize day. So every Friday, we did prize day at one library, and then Saturday, we did it at the other library. So working families could come on Saturdays, and those with a little more flexibility had Fridays. It also reached out to both demographics in our community. So once you got it, you earned 1 prize ticket. The prize ticket works like an amusement store where, you go play the video game, you get a little tiny ticket, you turn it in, and maybe you get a Tootsie Roll for the 1 ticket. But as you earn more tickets, prizes get bigger and bigger. So we did it that way. And so by the time they got to 20 tickets, they were earning our big prizes. Now, what are our big prizes? We had all our community donors here. Now, the donors came from years of hard work. We started out, we didn't have a lot of donors. Back in 2019, we had about 12 donors. Now in 2025, it includes 36 donors, with 90% of them being local community donors. They're local businesses that we have worked with and supported over the years to achieve this. Their prizes can be anything from an ice cream cone to $50 gift cards to $100 cruises. So there's a large variance in our prizes. So with this part of the program, they can turn in their tickets for up to the $50 gift cards. Anything valued at over $50, we considered a grand prize. So at this level right here, by just doing the summer reading program itself, for a reading for 20 minutes, you can earn up to 20 tickets. You got a prize no matter what. And it wasn't an assigned prize. It was whatever you wanted. They got the chance to go to the cart and select a prize they wanted, something that they had earned, something that they had worked towards and wanted to get. The teens, as we know, they love food. So selecting mega-sized candy as one of the bigger prizes, smaller bags of candy for the one tickets, nail polishes, gift cards to go out for food, McDonald's. Let me tell you, the kids love Happy Meals, even the teens, and the combo meals. We started out getting ice creams from them, and now we're getting full combo meals. Now, as we know, not everybody reads at the same level and at the same time. So by making sure each kid or each participant, teen, anybody got a prize at every level, they didn't have to read for 20 hours. If teens are busy, if they could only read for 10 hours, they still earned 10 tickets that could get them the gift cards, the smaller gift cards to McDonald's, to ice cream, to mini golf, to a movie. It still gave them that ownership and that reward. As adults, we work hard. We get paid to do our work. Teens, they're working hard. They're doing the schoolwork. Yes, their reward is accomplishing it, and it's an internal reward. But let's be real, teens like that physical thing that they can hold. A lot of people do. So by giving them that, it really encourages them to read more. Then at the same time, we didn't just limit it to the summer reading part, because once again, not everybody can read the same. Reading is harder for some people. So we opened up our program to expand to extra ways. So we had 4 ways that participants can earn a way into the grand prize drawing. So one was for reading. The other one was by doing a book review. Teens, kids, they have to read for school. They have to. We reward them for it. So even if all they do is write us a book review, they're learning school skills. It's reinforcing the skills they have learned at school and providing that educational experience through the summer. So they could earn a second grand prize entry by writing 1 book review. Then they could earn a third grand prize entry by writing a 2nd book review. And then in addition, they attended a program. If you attended a program, you got that 4th entry into the grand prize drawing. Our most popular prize with teens in the grand prize drawing is our water park passes to Margaritaville. So just having that goal that the kids wanted to achieve, it allowed them to do it 4 different ways. Some people just completed the reading quest, others just did the reviews. Some people just attended 1 event, and that was okay. We were meeting them where they were and what they could do. In addition, we have some other summer reading programs that don't even have the kids doing or have people doing this. We're a tourist town. Some people are just here for a weekend. So as part of summer reading, we provide a passport program that's independent from this for July and August. People can receive a passport to all the libraries in the CLAMS library system, which is all of Cape Cod is 38 libraries. They can go to different libraries, collect stamps, If they visit all the Yarmouth libraries, they are invited to turn in their passport for a chance to win, once again, a prize. People like those tangible items. It's to a local bookstore. So we're supporting the local businesses once again and offering them another way to play. We also do a guessing game. This started back in COVID as a way to engage people without having them enter the building. So each week we have a different theme. Back when we began, it was Guess My Tale, because it was tales, like something like that. And so we posted animal butts, and patrons were invited to guess the tale.
Mindy,
Yeah.
can I
Oh,
jump
sorry.
in really quick? And it was Tails and Tales, and there's a really
Okay.
great book called Butt or Face, which is very funny if it's the butt of an animal or a face.
Yeah.
But we had a clarifying
Oh,
question, so I
yes.
just wanted to jump in with this one. Someone's asking for a little clarity. They missed one detail about the grand prize entry.
Yes.
So they said to recap, they could earn one prize by one, like and two, or book reviews, three, attending a program, four. Can you just
Yeah.
clarify that structure one more time for us, please?
That was completely up to them. As long as they completed an activity, they got to put the grand prize in. So they could just do the reading portion, they could just do one of the reviews. So they could earn between 1 to 4 grand prize entries. This year, we had 6 different grand prize entries. One of them was an oil change. Little kids don't want that, but oil changes are expensive. So the teenagers did, the adults did. And so that, once again, while the teenagers still wanted the water park, it gave them a way to do more, to have goals to work towards. Once again, that oil change, that was $140 car package. It included tire inflation, some of the things that teens don't normally think about. And so, like I was saying, this is finding a way for everybody in the community to do it.
Okay, and then we
And
had
yeah,
one more clear. So
oh,
the person
please.
who asked that said thanks. I'm saving the rest, but
Yeah.
clarifying questions. I'm like, let me jump
Oh,
in.
please jump in with
Was
yes.
every participant entered into the grand prize pool?
um, Everyone that finished one of these, we do have. So we had, those are in the further slides, so I'm going to try to remember. This past summer, we had 174 readers, if I'm correct, and we had over 200 people register. So not everybody that registered got entered. And we did that because previously you got entered into the grand prize drawing when you registered. Some of these people didn't do any reading. And so it really negated for us the rewards for the people that were doing the work, that were being part of it. Yeah, we could get really great numbers if we went by everybody that registered, but they weren't participating. And for me, or for us, that felt like cheating. But at the same time, like I'm saying, these other programs, the passport, our guessing game, and so the guessing game, let me get back to that. So the Tails and Tales, and now this past summer, we did puzzles. So you had to figure out the puzzles. They were riddles based on dragons to, once again, support level up at your library. We provide them with a riddle. They scan the QR code. It goes to a Google form, and they fill out their questions on the Google form. Every right answer equals a chance to win, not a grand prize. It's a whole different prize. We have a local business that gives us a Yeti cooler every year that's valued at over $400, and we fill it with different food from Trader Joe's, and we stick some pool noodles. So it's a family fun package. So once again, we're encouraging everyone to do it. Our first year, a tourist that was just here for one weekend who scanned the QR code, which at that point, once again, it was COVID, which was outside our library, won. They were ecstatic. They were in their 60s. They won it. They did it just by chance, never had won anything in their life, they said. So that was a really great moment. Once COVID ended, though, let me tell you, we put this in our library. This program, while the reading program is available online, these passports and other programs, we require in library participation. We require you to come into the library and scan that QR code. So we change the riddle every week. So, and at both libraries, we had different clues. So this initiative, not only, both of them, not only encouraged the people to come into the library so we can meet them, promote the summer reading program, it also promoted them to visit both libraries, and not just both libraries once, repeatedly. So they kind of get hooked, you know. I did this clue. Oh, now I'm going to go over the other library and get that clue. And we changed them every Saturday. And so now, going on our fourth or fifth year of this, the kids, they come in every Saturday looking for these new clues. Like the whole family, is a new clue out yet? Did you put? Yes, we put it out. It's over there. Go look at it. So it's providing different levels that people can participate in. Once again, teens are really busy. They might not be able to do that stuff. So by offering the passport or offering the guessing game, it gives them a way to participate that meets their busy schedule, not just the schedule that's dictated by us. It really lets them take ownership of it. Now, I really want to highlight our businesses. So while we do all that school outreach, we do a lot of business outreach. So while these businesses all support us and donate to us through the summer, we support them year round. These are small businesses that support our community. They are giving to us, so we make sure we give back. We make them not just part of the summer program, but part of our year round programming. If we need candy for an upcoming program, instead of going to one of the higher end stores or ordering it off Amazon, we go to the local candy shop and we buy our candy there. Is it more expensive? Yes. But we are lucky to have a very supportive association where we can do that. And they know by supporting them throughout the year, they support us when we ask in the summer. And that's not just purchasing things with them, just like with the schools, it involves going in, connecting with them. Some of it is going to these businesses and supporting them when they do other stuff. So our local toy shop, who is, I want to say, our biggest supporter, and if you ever come to Cape Cod, please visit my friend Matt over at the Cape Cod Toy Chest. He not only gives to us in the summer, I participate in his Touch a Truck event and any other events that he hosts. And he really works with us just like we work with him to do what he can to meet us where we're at. He does the same with us. So if we're busy, it might just be one of us showing up with a cotton candy maker. We have a cotton candy maker and a snow cone maker. Once again, teens love food. If you can get one, I highly recommend it. So we'll show up to these events with a cotton candy maker, a snow cone maker, and just some library handouts. It brings people in. It allows for cross promotion because the library is involved in his event. We can now support this business that is for profit because we're partnering with him. If it was just, hey, can you promote this event? Technically, by the rules of our town, I can't promote it because he's a for-profit organization, as are a lot of these events. But when we partner, they become part of our community too, and we can help these for-profit companies maintain their business and be open and valid to us throughout the year. So I'm going to stress that over and over again. And please make sure you thank them through social media, include links to their websites, how people can find ways to go to the school. Thank them with letters and other recognitions. Make sure if somebody comes in and takes that gift card, you're telling them, yes, this was donated by this organization. Make sure they know it was a donation and not something the library purchased, and that these businesses are truly supporting the community. Okay, so to go to the participation numbers I was talking about earlier, measurable impact is so important. In 2025, we had record participation. Our numbers have grown in every age category across the board. In just 1 year, for all ages, there was overall growth of 148%. Now, this I would say is because of our hard work that supported it, but it was the Beebs initiative that really brought this to fruition, that really made us look at how to reach the different demographics that we weren't reaching before. And it's amazing. I mean, and how I got the number of the higher number here is 69. We had some 18-year-olds when we go into our actual breakdown on our reading platform, we can see how many 18-year-olds participated. So that's where some of those numbers came from. But as you can see, the adult participation went up. These are the families reading with their kids. These 117 5 to 10-year-olds, they'll be back next year as part of the 11 to 17-year-old demographic. So we're growing with them. So that number, while it doesn't represent teens, it's going to represent people that come into the library, that know you, that know you've been to their schools, that know you're growing with them. And so they'll come back when they're teenagers. They'll come back and do more with you. They see you. I joke that I'm Cape Cod famous. When I go out, I will get hugs from children at grocery stores, at playgrounds, and I have to then approach their adults and say, hi, I work at the library. I've met your kids through school. Just wanted to introduce myself as they're hugging me. So making those connections young really supports it. Now, this is a graphic that Rebecca came up with. There was a whole breakdown of our summer reading that we share not only within the library, we share it with our partners. This goes out to our partners that support us in the businesses so they can see what their contributions are going to. When we expanded to older kids and adults, they were like, why do you want a gardening gift card? Kids aren't going to want that. Well, first of all, yes, they do. Kids like flowers too. But teens want that. One of our local teens just built the gardens for the high school. They built the community gardens. So that's something that interested them. They were older. This was something they wanted. So showing them these numbers of how their donation helped increase the number from 1 year to the next was really important. Now, when I started, we had a generous association. They supported us. But once they started seeing the numbers grow and the businesses that were now growing to support us, they wanted to grow more with the program. They are now part of it. This is now something the association can boast about. It is something that the whole community can see and be tangible about. And does your town know what you really do? This is a flyer that we share with Town Hall so that they can actually see what we're doing. I want to leave time for questions, so I'm going to quickly get to the next slide. I just want to highlight, because I'm very proud about this, and show what we did with those community relationships we did. This summer, we hosted a tiny Ren fair as our summer reading kickoff, and it really highlighted what we've done with the Beebs principles. It was all inclusive. We had the Cub Scouts come and do archery, which, I'm sorry, once again, everybody loves archery. We had every age doing it. We have a community non-for-profit that brings their art bus to us that we partner with. The Cordial Eye Art Gallery, they're a local group that represents underrepresented people in our community. And they ran a makers market with community members that everything was made local. There was no bought tchotchkes. It was all locally made. Our graphics were done by local artists that were part of the Core July. We had local performers from the local theaters, and another library joins in. When we presented at NELA, we talked about our 3 other libraries that participate with us on a rotating basis to do these bigger programs, because who are we kidding? We can't do it alone. We're small libraries, we're understaffed, we're underfunded. We work with them to be able to do this. Now, this was a really big program, and we were really lucky. So once again, I asked, does your town know what you do? Because our summer reading program for 2025 was supported by the town with a tourism grant. We were granted $9,000 to run our summer reading program. That allowed us to hire these artists, not just for the Tiny Ren Fair, but for all the summer reading programs, which we're very lucky. We have a large group of performers that like to regularly come visit us and appreciate what we've done in the community. So the Beads program has now switched to from building equity-based summers to building community-based summers. From what I have been able to tell, the program remains the same, though some of the initiatives have changed a little bit. So the equity focus, which ensured fair access and outcomes for all participants, those that are historically marginalized, the community focus opens it up more to a broader group as a whole. So while equity helps some people, once again, it was helping the historically marginalized. Was it helping all in the community? Maybe not. My father had Parkinson's, dementia, and several other things. So he couldn't read as fast as anybody else. But he was a white male, older. He was not marginalized. So that wasn't necessarily helping the older people in our community that are marginalized. And they were still part of our community. So this new initiative builds on what they started and now opens it up to other people that you're not necessarily thinking about their challenges when it comes to summer reading. Even with teens, we have a large immigrant population. So how are we doing this with languages? How can you do it? Well, let me tell you, Canva has a great way to translate. We've had it checked. We have a community member that volunteers. They check it so that we can, once again, serve everybody. If somebody comes in and speaks a different language, we can change that program if we need to, so it's in a piece of paper they can read. Printing it in every language is a little hard, but being able to do it if needed is really effective. Okay, so that I have time for, I'm going to skip this. We learned about equity. It's ongoing. It's not a one-time thing. Listening to the community, partnerships, multiply impact, and celebrate diversity brings a whole town together. But so we have time for questions. I will now open it up and see what there are. I'll try my best.
Yeah, I pulled some for you. So one of our other questions was, and I was absolutely not surprised to see this early on, is there a printable or shareable version of your reading quest forms that you showed us on one of the earlier slides?
Yeah, so like I say, my question is, are you looking to get a copy? Because if anybody wants to email me, I'm Harrington, HERINGTON @clamsnet.org. And if you reach out to me, I will share any of our material with you. I will give you a copy.
Would you
And
mind, Mindy, putting that in the chat? Because I'm
yes,
sure
I
that's
can.
exactly what everybody wants.
I'm trying to find the chat again because
Oh
once again,
yeah. Oh, thank you. Rebecca got it. Rebecca got it for you.
okay, Rebecca.
Thank you,
Oh, hi,
Rebecca.
Rebecca.
Isn't it great having like when your coworkers show up and pinch it? I had someone do that for me and they were dropping all the links in. I was like,
Oh,
Barbara, I didn't ask you to be here, but I'm so glad you are.
well,
Thank
Rebecca's
you,
home. Yeah,
Rebecca.
Rebecca's homesick. So thank you,
Oh,
Rebecca. I'm glad
thank
you're
you,
here.
Rebecca.
And if you see my face, we have our lovely Cape Cod. He's our mascot for our comic book convention in the background.
That's
She
great.
wasn't here to support me, so I brought our mascot.
Yes, yeah.
So yeah,
She's here in
so
the chat.
yeah, so
Um,
I will share whatever materials we have, but once again, we do the paper and electronic. I can give you, I think our link is still up in the Beanstack. We could even show you how the electronic version mirrors because they are
so that
exactly the same.
All right, you just answered a couple of other questions that came in where folks were asking what platform did you use? And they were asking this when you were on that slide
Yeah.
with your graphics because they said it seemed way more customizable than Read Squared or Beanstack, but it
Oh,
appears that
sorry.
you did use
Sorry, Read Squared.
Beanstack.
Sorry, I read
Read
was
Squared
the theme. Um,
yeah, I
Read Squared
know.
is the platform.
So
And
you use the Read Squared platform. Okay.
yeah, sorry. We used to use Beanstack, but then it got too expensive when it was no longer paid for by the state. So once again, with this one, I would say reach out to Rebecca. She is the magic behind our flyers and how we mirror it. We did have to get really creative with how we were using Read Squared. It took away some of the options that we had fallen back on for Beanstack, but we could afford it. So we made it work, and she knows all the
Well,
tips and tricks.
and apparently it's working. And that's the thing with softwares, right? Sometimes you've got to make them do what you want them to do, which is going to take a little bit of time, but it's there for anyone who's a principal public library in Connecticut.
Yeah,
You already have access to Read Squared. I'm paying for it. So well, I mean, not me, well,
yeah.
sort of.
And one other tip
So
on that,
yeah.
it allows us to keep track. So every paper log we get, and once again, I'm going to throw this out to Rebecca, she inputs them all into the Read Squared program. So all our demographics, all our information is in one place. We're not adding it up. We're not trying to do the numbers ourselves because we're librarians. Who has time for all that math? Not me. So it
Uh,
allows us to delegate the work to a program that does it for us. Yeah.
and it's also a great job for older volunteers if you have them, older teens or adults. Oh, I'm looking at time. There were so many. Okay, so
I
we two
know.
people kind of asked about that. Someone asked, how close to the end of the year did you begin your visits?
We start in May and go, we start at the end of May and go through the beginning of June.
Perfect. All right.
Yeah.
Someone else asked, is there a way for parents to document that they were reading as a family instead of solo? And how did you incorporate parents earning prizes for reading with or to children?
They registered as a parent, they registered a parent, they registered a child. So once again, we're getting those age demographics.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Um, and so by the parents kept track of theirs, and in doing so, they kept track of
Yeah.
the little kids. Now, I'll say we don't get a lot of baby prizes because we learned out that the parents tend to select more of the family prizes to go with that. So we don't spend a lot of effort getting those little tiny baby prizes. We focus more on the gift cards and the teen rewards kind of things that older participants would like.
Awesome. Thank you.
And
There's just other chat happening in the chat, and I was looking at that too. And so you mentioned this, but if there's anything to expand upon, please feel free to do so. How were you able to budget for all of these prizes, or did you cooperate with businesses to work something out with them? But you mentioned a tourist grant that you all got.
yep,
Is that right?
the tourist grant only covered our programming. Um,
Mm,
it covered our programming and supplies. These relationships, I have been at Yarmouth Town Libraries. This was my 8th summer here. And so, but technically I'm only on my 7th year. But I did have done 8 summers. And from the start, this wasn't my community. I had just moved here. I was a teacher previously in Buffalo, New York. And so I knew how much community meant. So I went out, I talked to these businesses, I shopped these businesses. I made myself probably annoying, but they saw me coming and I just met them where they were. What can you give? Even if it was Walgreens gave us a bunch of clearance toys that they had in a bin that was left over that had to be destroyed. They were
Mm,
maybe $2 toys. There was only like 15 of them, but you know what? The kids loved them and it was what they could give. And so even if it's a very small part, it was meeting them where they were. Some people give us $100. The next year they give us nothing. We have a lot of um, road construction right now. So a lot of our businesses are really suffering. So that meant, kind of there was a lower giving level, but higher than the year we got before. Because
mm,
once again, the word has reached the businesses. And so even though we got less from each of the businesses, we had more businesses asking to participate. And once again, it's that community engagement. It's going shopping for Christmas gifts and paying maybe $2 more than you would on Amazon to support that local business.
That is so great. We had another question that maybe you've already answered. What's the team working on the summer reading program? Is it like one librarian from each department? Is there a leader of the team? They said it seems like such an awesome program that has a lot of prep, and they're wondering about staff time distribution on the back end. Is it just you and Rebecca, Mindy?
Just myself and Rebecca.
Two people. That's
Yeah.
great.
But there's a lot of back work. So one thing that I want to highlight, that I'll do it really quickly, I came to teens, is we had a D&D group coming in. It was a
Yes.
group of 5 teens that walked from the school in the rain, in the weather, that wanted to just play D&D. They played it upstairs with the adults. We got complaints. They were too noisy with the rolling of the dice. So we invited them downstairs. We got them a table when our one meeting room was available. We let them use it and they stayed, they participated. And then we held a comic book convention that teens loved, they were a part of. And then even for this Renaissance fair, that one of the teens that were part of our D&D group, we were able to hire them with that grant this summer. They had graduated high school, they're 18. We were able to hire them and pay them as a dungeon master this summer. So once it's not going to happen overnight, it's years of building these relationships with the community. And think about it, when somebody asks you, can you do this? Can you do that? Don't immediately say no. Don't think of how it will overburden you. Say, yes, we can. Let's sit down together and see how it can work. So it required the teens to be adjustable on spaces with Dungeons and Dragons. It required them to reach out to us and be accountable if they weren't coming to use the space, so that we left it open to other people. So they had skin in the game, and doing that was important to the buildup of getting that programming for teens and having them participate and now volunteer as we do these bigger programs.
Mhm. Thank you so much. And Rebecca is like pinch hitting. Rebecca, for someone who is not feeling well, you are doing a whole lot of work answering questions in the chat. Thank you so much, because we're so close to the end of time and would not have been able to get through all of those. Huzzah to Rebecca.
Thank you, Rebecca.
I can't talk, but I can still type. Thank you so much. We've
Best
got
partner in crime.
yes, yes, we've got a love for D&D. Oh, people talking about traveling toys.
Yeah.
Folks trying to figure out how to get funding because of nuances in their towns. I think I hit all the questions that Rebecca didn't hit. Just like, oh man, so much appreciation, Rebecca.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're at 2:29.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say thank you, Mindy.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Rebecca. Thank you, everyone who joined us for Teen Summit today, joined us for this session. As a BCBS trainer in Connecticut, we like to say that like the initiative isn't going to give you a program, but it's going to challenge your mind to think in new and unique ways to embed the training initiatives into your own work. So visit the website if you have a chance, reach out to your state youth consultant. They are probably BCBS trained, or they can tell you who is. But thank you so much. We are on our last break of the day. We will come back into either this room or the first track at 2:45. It's up to you. Our last session for the day in this track is Strategic Teen Services for Middle Schoolers. Our last session in track 1 is Addressing and Preventing Youth Homelessness. What can libraries do? So thank you everyone for joining us. Have a great 15-minute break. I will see you back here at 2:45. And I hope you all are enjoying your day. And again, thank you, Mindy, and thank you, Rebecca. I hope you feel better soon.
You.
Thank you.